Peace and love, family. I am Oshun, your favorite womb goddess. And if we are meeting for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are stumbling across this content, 10 times out of 10, you are ready to tap into your soft girl era. So go ahead and hit that subscription button if you are looking for content to help you become more feminine, to heal your womb trauma naturally, and to overall level up in your goddess energy. If we are not meeting for the first time, y'all already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like and that share button and drop me some purple hearts down in the comments so that we can get into the good graces with the YouTube gods. All right, y'all. So today we are talking about spiritual baths, spiritual cleansing. What are they for? What are the benefits? When do you need spiritual cleansing? So if that's something that you are interested in, then stay tuned. So the intention of this video is to educate you guys on when is it necessary to have a spiritual bath and how you can perform them or draw your own bath without needing anybody else. So let's talk about what is a spiritual bath and where does it come from. So a lot of time you hear about, I know I grew up in the church. I'm a pastor's kid. So I grew up in a church hearing about, baptism and things like that. The intention of a baptism is to be reborn again. And one thing that I said as I was getting older is like, okay, well, if I'm getting purified, if I'm getting cleansed by dipping myself in this water or dipping myself at the lake or wherever, I know like a lot of Baptist churches and things like that, they'll take you to the lake. I'm from the country, y'all. So they'll take you to the lake, they'll take you to the river, and they'll do the baptism there. So if my thing was, if you're doing this once around the ages of 9 or 10 or 15 or whatever, like how often are you getting this bath done, and is it really enough? Because a lot of people only get baptized maybe once or twice in their life, and typically is when they're joining a church. Like, let's be honest, spiritual bath is literally you just being submerged into water, purified water, cleansing water, or what we consider consecrated water, being submerged into that with intention of being reborn, to leave our impurities in the water and to be reborn, to be refreshed, to be cleansed, our spirits to be cleansed, not just the physical body but the spiritual body to be cleansed. That's the intention of a spiritual bath. How do you know when you need a spiritual bath? So like I said, a lot of times when I was growing up, you got baptized when you're trying to join a church. You got baptized when you was of a certain age. I think the first time I got baptized, I was probably 10 or 11 years old. Honestly, I think I was younger than that because I have this Bible, my very first Bible, and I think I got it right here. Give me 1 second. This is my very first Bible, y'all. Like, I don't even still use this Bible. I have another Bible that I use all the time, but I use this for sometimes. But this is my very first Bible, and I got this Bible because, again, I'm a pastor's kid. When you get baptized, you get a Bible because that's just what you get. And in the Bible, I have this. Y'all, don't come for me. Do not come for me. But I have this picture of me, and I was in the 4th grade. I remember being in the 4th grade, but this was 2003. I don't know why I have this picture in this Bible. I really don't know why. But this was me in 2003, and this is when I got baptized. So I've had this Bible for literally 20 years, and this is when I first got baptized. I've never been baptized again, so to speak, baptized, but I've had countless spiritual baths since then. Essentially, a spiritual bath is what you would do before or in between time of you actually doing full live baptisms, because a baptism is more of a bigger ritual, so to speak. So I still consider spiritual baths kind of like a baptism, but they're not, because they're typically in a church or some type of religious group or community. That's what a baptism is, and it's typically done by a priest or a pastor or somebody who has a little bit higher ranking. They're usually the person who does it for you. So me doing a bath in my bathroom in a jacuzzi or something like that, or going to the lake or something like that and using that to consecrate myself or to cleanse myself is not what we would still consider a baptism. So a spiritual bath will be what you would do in between time, because it's not likely that you are getting a baptism done frequently. That's something that people typically do like years between each other. It's not often that you're doing it, but like I said, in between time, you still need to be cleansed, because every time you go outside, you're picking up on energies, there's a lot of reasons why you need a spiritual bath, which brings us to the next point. How do you know when you need a spiritual bath? So when it comes to a spiritual bath, you will know that you need a spiritual bath when your energy is not the same, or when you are not operating in your same energy like your normal self. So it could be that you're feeling a little depressed, you're feeling a little anxious, and this is not your normal. So if this is your normal, yes, you will still need it. But if you are not feeling your highest self, if you feel a lot scary, more scary than normal, like you feel really anxious about things, you feel really hesitant about things, you want to take a spiritual bath. If you feel like, you have bad luck, like something is just on you, like your luck is just not giving up, you need a spiritual bath. When you are being intimate with multiple people, or with any person for that matter, for a certain amount of time, you need a spiritual bath, because that is an exchange of energy, and you want to make sure that you are calling back all of your energy and letting them have their energy. So you want to make sure that you have a spiritual bath as well when you do that. Signs that you actually need a spiritual bath, though, they could look like having migraines, it could be headaches, it could be you physically feeling sick, like you feeling nauseous around other people, or you just feeling sick, and say you go to the doctor or something and they're telling you nothing's wrong, like if you having a lot of chest pains, and typically the way that I try to describe it is, it's something that's happening to you that is unexplainable. Like there's no reason why you should be having a headache, there's no reason why you should be feeling sick, you haven't eaten anything that could throw you off, and your body is shutting down, or you're feeling some type of intense pain. A lot of times also on the back of your neck is where a lot of energies like to tap onto you or cling onto you, at the back of your neck. So if you are feeling a lot of neck pain, and this is coming again out of nowhere, this is not including you actually being in like a car accident or something that, you slept on your neck wrong, but you just out of nowhere, you wake up with, this sharp pain in your neck, or some type of neck pain that's unexplainable, as well as in your lower chakra. So if you have a lot of back pain, again, unexplainable back pains, if you are somebody who, you work throwing boxes at FedEx or something like that, and you don't stretch a lot or things like that, then a lot of times those could be the causes of it. But I always say our physical ailments start with spiritual reasoning first. So when it comes to those signs that are coming out of nowhere, you're feeling sick out of nowhere, you're feeling pain, intense pain out of nowhere, these are signs that you need a spiritual bath, because there's typically some other energies that are attached to you or affecting you in a way, and you need to purify yourself. This is also, it comes to, and I don't necessarily, I would recommend yoni steaming or a sitz bath. We do a sitz bath, but those things are another form of spiritual bathing. Of course, a steam isn't a bath, but a sitz bath is a form of a spiritual bath. To me, this is when we do after, like, you give birth. You might have seen your elders, if y'all from, the South, you might see your elders give a sitz bath, or which is an herbal bath that you give someone, a mother after birth. That is also a spiritual cleanse as well, because you have now just transfer life through your portal. So that's a whole spiritual ritual as well. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to your body when your body is giving you signs that there's other energies attached to you that is not your energy, or energies that are just not good energies for you, that are not conducive to your wellness. So now that we know what a spiritual bath is and how do we know if we need one, now it is to talk about how to make a spiritual bath. Generally, a spiritual bath is an intentional bath. That's what the general term of a spiritual bath is. And I'm somebody, I practice hoodoo. And with the whole point of hoodoo is to use less to get more. So our ancestors did not have so much to work with. So if all they had was water, you could have a spiritual bath with just water, because your intention is what makes the water, or what makes the bath. So if you only had water and that was it, you could take a spiritual bath with just the water that you run in your tub. Like that could be considered a spiritual bath, because your intention is what matters. But that's only for a hoodoo perspective. If you practice something else and you're like, girl, no, you need holy water, you need natural water, whatever, we're gonna get to that too. But I'm somebody I don't like to restrict things, because I don't like people to say, well, I can't do this because I don't have that. And that is the beauty of hoodoo. You're able to use what you have and still put your intention in it to still make it magical. So when it comes to a spiritual bath, typically a spiritual bath is some type of natural water. This is why we see at the lakes, the rivers. You can use this at the salt water, so at the ocean. You can also use this rainwater, things like that. This is or spring water. So if you actually have like spring water, you're buying spring waters and you use that to fill up in your tub or whatever, those are still considered natural water that you would do this bath with. So if you have it or have access to it, then you want to use natural waters. If you do not have it, don't fret. Just your intentions is what makes it. Do what you can. The divine knows your heart. Your divine knows, what resources you have. The divine knows if you just being lazy and you don't want to go get no spring water, or you don't want to take the extra steps to go get natural water. So, to each their own. But when it comes to a spiritual bath, it is typically with natural waters. You're using natural water. So you could go to the actual lake or go to a body of water and do the bath there, or you can bring some of that water to you. So I like to bring the water to me because I'm not typically going to be doing any of these rituals out in that water. But I will bottle up some lake water. I will use some spring water. I collect rainwater and things like that, and I will use it in that sense when I'm doing a spiritual bath. When it comes to a spiritual bath, using what else you would add to the spiritual bath, and this is very basic, y'all, so I'm not gonna give y'all like a list of herbs and oils and things like that, because those differ based off of what type of bath you are using, and we're gonna talk about that. So when it comes to what else you want to have, what makes it holy water is nothing but natural water and salt. So you want to use a natural salt. So you don't want to use the iodine salt with the little white girl on the front. You want to make sure that you're using some type of sea salt, some type of natural salt, Himalayan salt as well. I like to use lava salt when I'm doing like a protection bath. I will use like black lava salt. But you want to use a natural resource salt, not some table salt, like some real natural salt. That's what you want to use to put together with your water to make holy water. A cup of or a bowl of spring water and a bowl of natural salt together, that is holy water, point blank, period. Another way that you can make holy water is with some type of natural alcohol. You can use vodka or gin, but make sure it's distilled like the purest form. So I like to use Everclear, but you can use other vodkas. Use a pure vodka and putting that in natural water will do the same thing. Now you have your holy water. So that is something that I like to use, whether I'm using it to bless my house or to cleanse myself. But I use natural water, and I will use that to clean off my countertops, to put that into my water to wash my floors when I'm mopping my floors. Those are ways to bless my house and to make sure, the doors are blessed and things like that. That is how I purify my house, but that's also how I purify myself in a spiritual bath. So I will use that, put a bowl of that into my water. Say if I ran my water in my tub, and I'm doing a bottle like that, because obviously there's tap water if I'm running it from my tub, but I will make sure I will have enough. It'll be like maybe a gallon or two of the purified water that I will pour in there as well, with the intention of, that's going to obviously overpower the tap water or whatever. And it's not really tap water because I have filtered water. Y'all, tap water not good for you. Please don't use tap water. And then you can go into adding the herbs and the oils. All of that would be in addition to the basics, which is the salt and the water. All of that would be specified based off of whether you're doing a spiritual bath for love, whether you're doing a spiritual bath for protection, whether you're doing a spiritual bath for, clarity and understanding and higher wisdom. There's a plenty of things that you can do a spiritual bath for, but the intention of a spiritual bath is to purify you. So the majority of the time when people are doing spiritual bath, is for cleansing purposes. So to purify and to protect. So that's what the majority of them are going to be for. Like I said, you can use them for many different ways, but the majority of the time is people using it for protection. We're using it for protection and to cleanse ourselves of any type of energies that do not belong to us. It's certain things that you want to add to this to make it more excuse me, to make it more potent, to make it more intentional. You want to make sure that you're using white. When you are actually performing this, you want to make sure that your actual physical body is clean and purified. Like I say this all the time, especially with my clients who are getting like clarity readings, like intentional readings and stuff like that, like deeper readings. I always say make sure that you come with your, with your actual your shower, your teeth are brushed or whatever. That's just in reverence to your spirit guides. You don't want to go to your spirit guides filthy on the outside. They're coming to help you cleanse on the inside, but you don't want to go to your spirit guides filthy on the outside. So you want to make sure that you cleanse yourself off on the physical, and you want to make sure that you are intentional with even clear. Everything that you do should be done with intention, but you want to make sure that you're cleansing yourself off and washing away, like with the intention of, cleanse me, on the outside, cleanse everything off of me or whatever, from your head to your toe. And you want to make sure that you're cleansing off that way. Once you finish doing that, you want to clean out the tub, after everything, like after you've completely washed off, you want to cleanse out the tub, and then you want to run your water and do everything else. So you want to run your water with intention of the entire process. I'm using this holy water for this purpose. I'm using this herb for this purpose. I'm using this candle for this purpose. I'm using this oil for this purpose. You want to make sure that you are very intentional with the entire process. You want to make sure you're intentional with the entire process and calling out to it. What do you want to gain from this bath as you're mixing them together, making sure that you're using your right hand as you're mixing it together, and making sure that if you're doing something reversal, like you're trying to get something off of you, you can use your left hand and go counterclockwise, or you can use, if you're trying to bring something into you want to use your right hand and go clockwise. But you want to make sure that you are intentional with everything that you are doing, because your intention is what makes the bath. So you don't want to just throw things together like you just want to be a little gumbo. That's what it's going to be if you just putting stuff in there and you ain't got no intention behind it. You just putting stuff in there. So you want to make sure that you have intention behind every single thing. When it comes to limitations, again, I am someone who likes to give you guys resources so that you don't feel limited. So say if you don't have a tub and you only have a stand-in shower, you can do this exact same thing and get this exact same results, and it works just as powerful. If you do not have a tub to actually submerge yourself in, you want to utilize your shower. Every single one of these methods I'm about to tell you will require you to bathe first. Cleanse your actual physical first. And then you want to go, okay, I just told you how to do the bath. So now you want to do it, say if you have a shower. If you just have a shower, cleanse yourself first. And then you want to, whatever herbs you're going to use, if you're actually going to use herbs, say if you just want to use the holy water, then you want to have your holy water. I have it in a 32-ounce jar, and then after I cleanse myself, I turn the shower off, and then I'm setting my intention, obviously, as I'm pouring it on my head, or speaking or affirming my intention as I am pouring it on my head. But I'm pouring it like with my right hand, and then I'm pouring it, and as I'm speaking everything, I'm not just pouring it just straight on my head, but this is also cold water, y'all, not warm water, but cold water, so it can, waking you, waking up the spirits in you or whatever, but it's cold water, so I'm pouring it on my head, so it's already shocking to you. It's already going to shock your system. So I'm pouring it on there, and I'm saying, hey, I cleanse myself of this. I remove this. I thank you for this. And I'm just pouring it until it's all gone and affirming it as I'm doing it. I sit with it for a second after all the water is gone. I'm speaking more affirmations. I'm praying. I'm meditating as I'm standing there. And then as I'm done, I will rinse myself off. Even if you're in the tub, you want to make sure that you rinse yourself off. You're not bathing again. You're not using no more soaps. You're not using nothing. You just rinsing yourself off. And then you get out of the tub. You want to use a white towel or something. And then you want to dress yourself in white when you get out. If you're about to go to bed or whatever, I don't sleep with no clothes on, but I'll use a white towel to dry off, or air dry, but only have my white towel around me, and then I'll get into bed. If I am still going out or I'm still up and I'm doing more things, then I'll just put on like a white gown that I have specifically for spiritual baths when I finish my spiritual bath. So that's how you would do the shower method. And then if you don't have a shower and you don't, cause y'all, I went a year without having a shower or being able to take a shower in the house that I was living in. And it was because I get claustrophobic, and stand-up showers in the house only had stand-up shower. And I didn't know that I was like that until I lived there. And I don't know if it was just because of the house. I don't know, but I hated that house. And I was there by myself. I lived there by myself, but in that house, I went an entire year without taking an actual shower in my house or taking like an actual bath in my house. And I work with a lot of energy as far as like light work and things like that. And I'm an esthetician, so I was doing a lot of hands-on services, and I was like, yo, I have to take a bath. Like my spirit was disgusting. I needed to take a bath, and I knew I needed to take a bath. So I ended up, before I knew how to take other methods to take a bath, I ended up I went to Walmart. I bought a tub from like a tote that you like will put some shoes or something in. I bought a big tote, and I submerged myself in it. Like I sat in that. Like I was able, like I'm literally like fetal position, like literally like in this tub with my big ass. Just in the tub and just like soaking in the tub in that way. The intentions were there, and at the end of the day, I did what I had to do to make sure that my spirit was clean. So, make it work. If that's all you got, make it work. But now I know that you don't necessarily have to do all of that if you don't have it. I also have a foot spa, because this was around the time that was COVID. So I had a foot spa. You can do the same thing with the foot spa, because the feet carry every nerve in the body. Every nerve in the body is attached to the feet. That's also attached to the spirit. So you can use the same thing and put those herbs and that intention in your foot soak, with the intention of, I'm still purifying my entire body, because your feet is attached to the rest of your body. So you can do it from your feet as well, and soak your feet, and with that same intention. You're still going to bathe first. You're still going to wash off or cleanse yourself off after, once you finish, but that would be as well another spiritual bath. So I think I covered everything. We talked about what a spiritual bath is. How do you know if you need one? What would you use to actually use a spiritual bath? The basics of what you need to make a spiritual bath. And then, all the different alternatives that you can have. So if you don't have a bath, if you don't have a shower, if you only have a bucket, and a prayer, then you still can perform this without having to feel like, or your spirit having to be neglected because you don't have other resources. So that's all I have for you guys. Let me know down in the comments if this was helpful. If you are going to use any of this information to go take a spiritual bath, let me know if you need a spiritual bath. All of those things are important for you to know, especially if you are on a healing journey. You're most likely are more sensitive as you're coming through this awakening, or you're in your hermit phase. You're going to be a lot more sensitive to energies. So there's a high chance that things could get, or energies can be caught on to you very quickly. So you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself through this journey. And I tell my students that are in the Rebirth Society, I tell them that all the time, like, this career, or, this journey, this purpose, this mission is not for the weak. It's not for the faint of heart. Like, we have to make sure that we are protected as healers. We have to make sure that our energy is protected, that our spirit is protected, but first and foremost, before we go and we try to help other people and heal other people, because they're coming to us for resources. We don't want to be giving off negative energy because we got negative energy from our last client, or we dealing with personal stuff. We want to make sure that our spirit is always uplifted, and that we are always returning energy back into the universe, not necessarily back to sender all the time, but making sure that we're turning energy back into the universe, and just cleansing ourselves properly and regularly. You should be, I recommend not Yanni steaming. Yeah, Yanni steaming, of course, too. Y'all know that's all I talk about. That's why I've always mentioned it. But I recommend spiritual baths if you work in the public, if you work anywhere where hands-on with people, or you have to interact with a lot of people all the time on an intimate setting. I recommend you doing a spiritual bath at least once or twice a week. At least once or twice a week, just for your own sanity. At least once or twice a week. If you are not, then I would do it ritualistically, like however often you feel called to do it, but at least once a month for sure. I say every other week at minimum. You need to get in the practice of doing this frequently, especially if you are around low vibrational people all the time. And I say all the time, if you shop at Walmart, you should be just a trip to Walmart, you might need a spiritual bath. So I joke when I say that, but for real though, if you go a lot of places that are low frequency, you might not work there or spend a lot of time there all the time. But if you go places like that, it is very, especially if you don't put your protection up, it's very easy for lingering energies that are low vibrational to latch on to you. So you just want to make sure that you are safe and sound as much as you possibly can. So thank you guys for trusting me with this information. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you found any value from it. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and do that so that you don't miss out on any more of these videos. And make sure you turn that notification bell on as well, because we go live every single night talking about hard topics that nobody else wants to talk about. So I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.